applies to users, processes, and other systems. To discuss the various ways of structures and operating systems, to explain how operating systems are installed and customized and wholly boot. First section, Operating System Services. An operating system provides an environment for the execution of programs. It provides certain services to programs and to the users of those programs. One set of operating system services provides functions that are helpful to the users. Okay, so the first part is user interface. Almost all operating systems have a user interface. This interface can take several forms. One is a command line interface, which uses text commands and a method for entering them. Another is a byte interface, in which commands and directives to control those commands are entered into files, and those files are executed. Most commonly, a graphical user interface GUI is used, so that Windows user interface. Here, the interface is a Windows system with a pointing device to direct I/O, choose from menus, and make selections, and a keyboard to enter text. Some systems provide two or all three of these variations. Okay. The second service is program execution. The system must be able to load a program into memory and to run that program. The program must be able to end its execution either normally or abnormally. I/O. The third service is I/O operations. A running program may require I/O, which may involve a file or an I/O devices. For specific devices, special functions may be desired. For efficiency and protection, users usually cannot control I/O devices directly. Just now we learned, in last chapter we already learned, okay, the privileged instructions to operate I/O. Therefore, the operating system must provide a means to do I/O. The fourth service is file system manipulation. The file system is of particular interest. Obviously, programs need to read and write files and directories. They also need to create and delete them by name, search for a given file, and list file information. Finally, some operating systems include permissions management to allow or deny access to files or directories based on file ownership. Many operating systems provide a variety of file systems, some to allow personal choice and sometimes to provide specific features or performance characteristics. And the fifth service is communications. There are many circumstances in which one process needs to exchange information with another process. Such communication may occur between processes that are executing on the same computer, or between processes that are executing on different computer systems tied together by a computer network. Communications may be implemented via shared memory, in which two or more processes read and write to a shared section of memory, or message passing, in which packets of information in predefined formats are moved between processes by the operating system. The sixth service is error detection. The operating system needs to be detecting and correcting errors constantly. Errors may occur in the CPU and the memory hardware, in I/O devices, and in the user program. For each type of error, the operating system should take the appropriate action to ensure correct and consistent computing. Sometimes it has no choice but to halt the system. At other times, it might terminate an error-causing process or return an error code to a process for the process to detect and possibly correct. Additional operating system functions. First, additional functions exist for helping to ensure efficient system operations. The first is resource allocation. When there are multiple users to multiple jobs running at the same time, resources might be allocated to each of them. The operating system manages many different types of resources, some such as CPU cycles, main memory, and file storage. Some may have special allocation code, whereas others may have much more general request and release code. For instance, in determining how best to use the CPU, operating systems have CPU shutdown routines that take into account the speed of the CPU, the jobs that must be executed, the number of registers available, and other factors. There may also be routines to allocate printers, USB storage drives, and other peripheral devices. Accounting. We want to keep track of which users use how much and what kinds of computer resources. This record keeping may be used for accounting or simply for accumulating usage statistics. Usage statistics may be a valuable tool for researchers who wish to reconfigure the system to improve computing services. Protection and security. Protection involves ensuring that all access to system resources is controlled. Security of the system from outsiders is also important. Such security starts with requiring each user to authenticate himself or herself to the system, usually by means of a password, to gain access to system resources. It extends to defining external I/O devices, including network adapters, from invalid access attempts and to recording all such connections for detection of break-ins.